Hey everybody, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I'm Bill, and I haven't done one of these in a long time. I haven't been to a new airport in a long time. I take that back. Brad and I went 2/3 of the way across the country to a bunch of new airports, which I did brief, but it's been a month or so since I have flown to a new airport. And I've done this a bunch of times, and it's one of my favorite things to do in the simulator, which is brief a flight in the sim before doing it in the real world, and particularly an airport or a flight that I have not done in the past. So we are, of course, leaving from beautiful John Wayne, and we're going to WJF, which is William J. Fox. What does the J stand for? Joseph? I can't remember. No one knows. It's actually William J. Fox. Yeah, what does the J stand for? I thought it was like Joseph, or I don't know. It really doesn't. It does not matter at all. But as you can see on our beautiful little flight map here, it's kind of a goofy flight. There is, well, I mean, like every flight around SoCal can be some level of goofy. Last night went to El Monte, so probably actually going to take a very similar route to that. The 3,000 foot over to El Monte is perfect because we got that Bravo shelf right in the middle here. And then from El Monte to climb is probably the best option, and just keep on climbing up and then cut over at Agua Dulce. That keeps us out of Palmdale, which is Air Force. So keep us away from that crap. And yeah, I think that's actually the best option. It's gonna, I mean, it's step climb-ish, I guess. But if you do, let's go Monty. Nope. I'm gonna remove that. I wanted to adjust the route. There it is. That should do it. Okay. And then we'll take this and move it over like that. Something like that. And basically just like cut over at whatever point. I mean, it's probably going to be 7,500 that will pop over there. And maybe even less than that too. If we're looking at AGL, we could probably just like skim that. And not need to, worry about cruising altitudes, because the terrain there, 3,000 peaks at 56. What's the elevation here? Oh, I hate that. I don't care about the ADSB. 23, so 5,000 AGL crossing over there. Yeah, that could work. I think that's like the most direct version of doing that. I don't want to go over the top of the mountains. Yeah, I think that might be our best option. All right, so I'll give that a shot, and we'll put that away. Get the plane started. See if this works. It's been a while since I've flown this thing too. Okay, let's go tie down shocks. Also, let's get the fuels topped off. Yep. Not in all the way. There it goes. There we go. Okay. All right. Parking brake. Parking brake is set. Door to floor. Let's get this on to the left. Good. Get that on. We'll get it primed. Beacon on. Okay. Will it start? Look out. Okay, it looks good. Get the fuel pump off. Oh, I feel like... Have I just not flown with this in a while? All right, cool. So that's all done. We'll just go here. Actually, I was going to see if there was coverage at the moment. Negatory. Really check that. Check that later. All right, so let's get taxi. We'll get navs going on. All right. And let's turn this guy off. Ground point niner. All right. Cleared right, cleared left. Same. Derek, you've been working a bunch, man. It's awesome. Heck yeah. Good variety too, which is really cool. Still got Atlantic over there. Ooh, that's new. Oh, that's super cool. Little sound of the prop wash. Still actually have to update this plane too. I have not updated this plane. It's like in my email to remind me to update it, and haven't flown it in so long. But that seems like it's a Microsoft thing, which is a cool addition. Dude, I love this Cardinal that we've been flying, but I do like a PA-28. That's just always gonna be, it's always gonna be my buddy, I think. All right, let's see if this thing doesn't want to break. Okay, looks good to me. All right, so we're gonna be on the, where's my heading bug? We're gonna be on the 340 heading out of here. 340. There's 340. And at 3,000. All right. Cleared left, cleared right. It does make me happy to fly out of this airport, even on the simulator. It's pretty cool. I mean, this one definitely needs some updating. It's a little out of date in a couple of key respects, but it still feels like it. All right, so we're gonna go up to WJF, William J. Fox Field. Looks like we got 78. Whoa, hello, 78 miles. 68 miles, sorry, and. What's our, I didn't even check the, about 40 minute flight. Okay. See how it feels coming back. I almost think that, coming back, having to climb over those mountains anyway, it's gonna maybe make this flight a little bit different coming back. So we'll see if we might want to do like coaster route coming back or something, which would be different change of pace. All right, we're just gonna let it roll here. So let's go lights, camera, action. Lights, camera, action. Whoops, crap. It's on the brakes there. Cleared left, cleared right. Hi. Mariners fan 1991, welcome. All right, okay, good, okay. And yeah, taking off from this airport in a GA plane is definitely interesting. Okay, speed is good. Engines are good. Get it off the ground, tap the brakes, gear up, prop back. There's the offset. Hold that for, I don't know, a couple seconds. Don't want to like crowd these buildings here, but also don't want to necessarily dawdle. Shoot there. Okay, so 340, we'll get back on that heading here. What's up, Cole? Yeah, so you don't want to like turn into these buildings here at South Coast Plaza, which is noted on the chart. So just wait until you get a couple hundred feet up, and then you're pretty fine. But this heading here. This heading here takes you to, oh, I don't even know where it takes me because I don't have flight tracking started. There it goes. TFR ahead. So this will take you pretty much right to El Monte, which is our first stop. So we'll go up to 3,000, and then that'll keep us underneath the shelf, and we'll pop up from there and see. Kind of eyeball the altitude a little bit. I don't want to go. I don't want to climb too high up because It's kind of, if you're familiar with golf terms, it's a little bit nearsighted on the location of the airport and the terrain. So if I can get lower sooner, I definitely will, so I don't have to like circle down or do anything too inefficient. Let me know if that's distracting on the screen there. This is kind of like a flight prep video, so I feel like maybe it might be helpful to have that up there. This is the exact route that I took last night at night. It's not a departure that I typically do because there's not much up this direction. Almost everything that we do is either east, south, or northwest enough that which is what this is called, the orange departure, is not needed. So it's kind of rare to do this departure, but I mean, you're just going right into the thick of all the craziness.
Caution, inside TFR.
Where's this thing going? Ooh, that would be really annoying if the autopilot stopped working. Hey, where's it going? Was it just not like lined up right? What's up, Dilly? Or it's just completely having a moment here. Oh, fantastic, man. Yeah, I feel like that's just not lined up, which is weird. HSI should just be totally fine. Let's see. Where is that? HSI enabled, DI. Yeah.
Caution, TFR below.
Okay, that'll work. I think. Yeah, that's a mismatch. That's weird. Again, I haven't updated this thing since for a while, so that is all subject to be user error. And of course, as I was troubleshooting that, we are going to fly into the Bravo. What's up, Dr. Oculari? Welcome to the stream. Happy Wednesday. Let's get this thing back down here. Man, yeah, so I hadn't flown at night in a long time. Last night was the first night flight that I've done in a really, really long time, and forgot how relaxing it is, and also forgot how stressful it can be to get outside your comfort zone after a while. So that was kind of nice and also not great, but great in a certain way, I guess. Okay, back at the altitude. Let's see if it's going to hold it. I might just have to keep it trimmed.
Class Delta below.
Yeah, so we're right over Fullerton right now. Yeah, there's Fullerton. Yeah, they definitely added some new sound effects. It's kind of cool. Yeah, the little oh, there, now it worked. The little cheater altitude hold was not working. So right above us is that 4,000 foot shelf for the Bravo. So we just have to stay out of that guy's way. Once we're clear of that, we're clear to climb, and then that's where I really feel like I can get, I don't want to say creative, but can kind of get a little bit more play it by ear in terms of flight planning. I know what would keep me safe, but that's kind of part of doing this in the simulator, is actually seeing what that terrain looks like, because in the chart, you know, you get the minimum safe altitude in a particular area. So for this crossing here, you know, the closest one I see is 7,500. I doubt that we're going to be anywhere near 7,500 for making that crossing. But without knowing topographically, like exactly what it looks like, this will give me a little bit of an idea of how much terrain I have to deal with and be able to make the decision of how far I have to really realistically climb. I can plan for 7,500 because that I know will get across. But if I'm climbing, because I'm going to have to climb, and I feel like I don't need to climb anymore, great part about VFR is I can just stop climbing. So makes it super easy. All right, let me just say one thing from last night's flight. El Monte is notorious for being a difficult airport to spot. And I'll remove ForeFlight here just so you can kind of see via out the window here. This isn't going to be great because just the draw distances are not obviously like real life. It's really hard to see, kind of, even with the different draw distances for airports versus regular terrain, but it's just packed. It's super dense through here. This is the airport, just right in the middle. You can see kind of the flat you know, like ramp area, runway area, and the hangars. At night, Brad and I were wondering, it's like, I wonder if this is going to be easier or harder to find at night. And it is freaking way harder to spot at night. Way harder. So we didn't see it. We were following traffic in, and I picked up the traffic, so I was following that guy in. Still didn't, saw the beacon, still really couldn't make out the airport because it's so densely packed in there. But yeah, fun little anecdote. Another hazard of flying in SoCal. Airports are freaking hard to spot. The what? Oh, Breeze. Yeah. right, so we're now clear of the Bravo shelf. So essentially, right when you get over Almonte, we are clear to climb. So I'm gonna get that thing turned off, and we can make that turn on course, which is more or less along not the 210. What's the road that goes up, the freeway that goes up there? Is it the 210? If you I feel like there's another freeway. No, it is the 210. Yeah, so we'll basically just fly the 210. Trim this thing up a little bit. So I'm gonna go for this valley right there. I'm gonna fly through that valley. Might clip a little bit of the Charlie if we are a little bit too far left, but probably should be okay. And now we play the waiting game. And this is just the heart of the basin. So this is East LA, El Monte area. You got San Dimas, there's Pomona, City of Industry behind there. And it's dense. We're heading towards Pasadena right now. La Cañada. Actually should maybe be able to see the Rose Bowl here. Oh, you know, I take that back. It wasn't 75 where we were at. It was 56 is minimum save. So 55 is actually would be not be bad at all. Yeah, I think the Rose Bowl should be. So yeah, it's right over there. It's getting drawn in. Yeah, that line, the line was right over the 5,500, or I guess I mean 5,600, but that is good. And of course, as long as we are below 3,000 AGL, we don't have to worry about proper VFR cruising altitudes. And this is very much going to be a climb and then essentially immediately descend, potentially, kind of like when we go out to French Valley. You know, we're not really like cruising for that long. Yeah, it's kind of in the middle of that, like, it draws a bunch of trees around it zone. And I think it sticks out a lot more than that. The trees are not this prominent around here. It's cool though. Getting some fidelity added there. I am sure that there is something on flightsim.io. That's cool looking though. I don't recall actually seeing SoFi, but I would think that there would be a version of that. Apparently not. Yeah, it's still got Hollywood Park in the sim. But I mean, like, someone actually putting a, like, making a model for it. Or a little add-on. Okay, so this is on our flight path, just pretty much right over the 210. Which is right there. So right over the 210, going up this valley. Pretty big golf course. That's got to be more than 18 holes there. Looks like it's got to be 2 golf courses there, right? Oh, yeah. There is the valley. I always find it funny when things are referred to as like the something. It's the valley. There's 5K. Still not comfortable yet. There is an add-on for the sim. Thanks for it, dog. In a builds. LAX has SoFi. Yeah, I mean that is such a necessity for a LAX scenery. Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, that does it. That looks really cool. What's up, Dave? Oh, are we not? Is it not connected? Might have to re-sign in. I had it open.
You guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
There we go. Just had to wake up. Okay, so there's 5,500, and I am not comfortable with that. I think it's going to be 75 and then come down. I didn't actually manage to watch much of the Sunday Ryder Cup stuff. I watched a lot of Friday and a lot of Saturday. But I guess, yeah, I watched Saturday, Friday night. So I was up very late Friday night, Saturday morning watching it. Pretty fun though. Okay, so there's 6,000 now. I can maybe start turning. Nice, that's cool. Yeah, I definitely caught the tee off on both days. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, let's turn on to course now. Still climbing. Oh, that'll be fun, Dilly. Nice. A little bit more here. All right, and it should be just over that ridge. Yeah, Ryder Cup's a bucket list for you. I think any event would be fun. I have not been to a PGA event. This is interesting terrain. So the first real flight that Julia and I went on together was up here at Agua Dulce, which is just over here, and took a different route. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is slightly better routing. Not by much, but I do kind of think that 75 is the answer, though. I think that's where I'm comfortable. Dude, I'd actually go to a live event. I'm really kind of liking the stuff they're putting out, honestly. Like, Bryson is one of my favorite golfers right now, and it's crazy that he's not on tour, because it's just so much more accessible. I mean, the only place I watch that stuff is on YouTube. I don't even know if they broadcast it anywhere. I don't think they really do, but like, it's pretty damn fun, man. They do on the CW. I don't have cable, so I haven't even bothered to look it up. But I have Peacock, so I get the PGA stuff. But yeah, watching Bryson play, dude, so much fun. Yeah, so right when we crest this, you got... How much space do I have? 12 miles. That might be enough. Yeah, Masters is definitely the big one.
Destination ATIS is 126.3.
Yeah, St. Andrews is absolutely epic. I would just want to see it. Cool, I guess we're just going to do a nice little right base here. Yeah, same with Augusta. I would actually probably be cool with that too. Although, from like an actual golf perspective, to me, this might be sacrilegious, but I feel like Sawgrass, to me, is more iconic and recognizable on a hole-to-hole basis than Augusta is. There's definitely like 3-4 holes that are unmistakable Augusta, but I think Sawgrass is a kind of a cooler course. Yeah, talk about lottery though. Playing St. Andrews. I mean, yeah, playing St. Andrews would be cool, but that's a whole ordeal, man. I mean, I guess so is going to any of those tournaments as an ordeal, but you got to get up freaking early to get on that course. All right, so there's 7,500. That to me feels like enough. Yeah, there's Agua Dulce. Super cute airport. Not much over here. Yeah, I think this route feels pretty nice. And then from here, so Palmdale should be right. Oh yeah, yeah. There's Palmdale, Lancaster, and I think that's WJF right there. Yeah, so I can just start descending now. What's up, Scotty? Happy hump day, man. Let's kill that stuff. Yeah, that course looked so cool. I watched so much stuff on that course leading up to the event. And yeah, they set that thing up. It was diabolical. You have to be on the fairway, otherwise you are screwed. And those gettable par fours are super cool. I almost broke 90 last week. This weekend, I'm gonna break 90. I'm excited for that. Better than bogey golf is the goal on Sunday.
Class Delta below in 6.4 miles.
So I don't have the airport in sight quite yet. Oh, yep, there it is. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, this is gonna be perfect. Yeah, this is gonna work nice. 32 or 2,300, so 3,200 feet. Okay. Shot one over. That's awesome. That is awesome. It's such a puzzle, man. It's just like figuring everything out like one thing at a time. It's pretty wild. Oh, by the way, we're right over the San Andreas Fault. This is the San Andreas Fault. This little valley right here. Yeah, it's definitely a grind. I got this new hybrid, and it's just a magic club. I used it on almost every freaking hole except for the par threes, and it's just insane, absolutely insane. So I'm excited. The course that I'm playing this weekend is a very, very, very big club. I don't know what you call it. Like, it's technically it's public, but it's like not. It's, but I'm really excited to utilize that club here, because it's not a very hard course, but it's absolutely beautiful. I find it saying is how Rory and Hovland at 5'9" hit the ball so damn far. It's just club head speed, man. I mean, whatever you can do to get the club moving. I mean, there's definitely being tall, you know, and having long arms and, you know, like a long elongated body can help, but there's also a lot of things that can go wrong in that time frame. So it's not just automatically a benefit. It's a little bit of a double-edged sword, which is a weird saying because most swords are double-edged. And anyway, but yeah, so it's that whole body that, you know, I mean, I can hit it a freaking mile. I mean, I hit driver 300, my 3-wood, which I have I think it's a 15 degree that I've got lofted up to 17. I hit that to 60, and then my 18 degree hybrid, which is lofted up to 20, I hit that to 40, like a reliable in the fairway 240. All in the hips. Yeah, it's a massive advantage to be like having that club go 240 and dead straight. I mean, it does exactly what I want it to do. Dead straight 240 is a huge advantage. But it's also a huge advantage on a par 5 to hit it 300 yards and then take out that hybrid and then hit it 240 onto the green and then 2-putt for a birdie. That's also pretty nice, but just way less reliable. Dude, what an ugly ass area.
Short
Goddamn.
final runway 06.
So I still ended up pretty high, but I think I didn't start descending quick enough, which I can rectify that.
Whoa! Found it! Hello. Found the ground.
Found the ground. What's up, Dave? What is up? This is a big ass runway. Damn. Captain Aviation, buongiorno. All right, so I have no idea where I'm going once we get here. So, for the purposes of planning, I guess we'll just taxi back and see how that works in reverse. Yeah, let's see how this. So this is the part that, yeah, this is the just flight arrow. I have so much time in this airplane in real life that if my brain is fried and I just want to fly, it's still my favorite plane to fly because it looks great, it sounds great, it flies fine, and I know it, which takes away a lot of the thinking side of things, which, to be honest, sometimes I really like to avoid. Hey, welcome to Captain Aviation. Welcome to the Discord. If anyone else is new here and not yet in the Discord, it is the best aviation community on the internet, and that's not an exaggeration. Or it's not me being hyperbolic. What's up, Noir? It's all good, dude. Organic community. It's awesome. Dude, having that Discord is so freaking nice. Oh my God. Every day. I mean, it's just awesome conversations every day. Everyone's super respectful. Dude, I really try to not think. I know all of the tricks to not think. Oh boy. I think you might need to box pattern this. Like, so this is where I'm wondering, dude, lurking in that is also great too, because there's a lot of conversations that just take on a life of their own. And I mean, if there's ever any question on anything, you know, obviously don't hesitate to ask. I would like to think that everyone's very welcoming, regardless of what the question is. But just the amount of knowledgeable people in there
runway 06
on any given minute is pretty astounding. iPad very big. All right, so here's the problem that I'm thinking is going to exist is taking off from runway 6 here. I can start climbing. I mean, we'll probably do I guess rate pattern 2-4. Yeah, so we might have to do like a left downwind departure. I mean, either way is fine. Is it study level? The term study level I think is really dumb. Honestly, no airplane in the simulator is going to be study level. I'm going to start flying the PA-28 next month, and I'm thinking about getting it to fly and stay proficient with it. It's everything is relatively located in the same spot as a PA-28, so I have a ton of, most of my time is in Archers, which is essentially this plane just without the lever. Yep, interactive Sporties poster. So yeah, I mean, it's if you need to have, you know, the panel look kind of the same, then yeah, it does that. But a lot of Piper panels are very variable, so I mean, it's probably not going to match exactly, it's not going to match exactly the plane that you fly probably, but it's the closest thing, and it's a very good version of it. But definitely don't use it as a like learning how to land or staying proficient with how to land. But like if it helps you to know, like, oh yeah, here's where the master is, or here's where you flip on the landing light, then yeah, it's going to be pretty close. I think it's worth it as a PA-28 flyer. I think it's definitely worth it. All right, so I'm thinking like the inverse of this just really might not work, and I might have to go a little bit further north. And if I'm going further north, might just take a different route. I'm really trying to think if I was doing this. I am going to be doing this tomorrow in real life. So if I'm really planning this without the safety net of this being on a simulator, the other option too is going down El Cajon. So I think that might be a little bit too out of the way, but let's just see what it looks like. I'll just try to replicate it and see if that looks good. Flows and everything, not so much realistic flying. Yep, simulator can't really capture the realism feeling of flying a plane. No, it cannot. Fantastic. So yes, in that regard, then yeah, absolutely, it's totally worth it. And even if you're not flying an arrow,
entered runway 06.
It's
7,100 feet
yes,
remaining.
thank you very much. If you're not flying an arrow, I think it's even better in the simulator because you can suck the gear up and get a couple more knots out of it. You know, as you're playing around. If you are flying a Cherokee or an Archer or whatever, there's no reason to subject yourself to those speeds in the sim because you will have to deal with those in real life.
Let it do, baby. We up, baby. Best angle of climb.
Best angle of climb. Thank you, Dave. Okay. Yeah, let's go. You're looking up the ODB. Ah, man. I don't want to be that restricted. We're just gonna let her rip. I don't want to assume Palmdale transition. It's, you know, military field, and I don't want to assume that that's going to be approved. The other thing too with that is if you go south or if you head towards Palmdale, the terrain actually rises higher. If I can show. So like it's actually higher out there than if I stay to the west a little bit. Now we're going southwest and more south than west. So it's not too bad, but it's just the proximity of that stuff that makes it a little bit trickier to navigate. And I am probably overthinking it a little bit, but you know, it's not the most comfortable spot to leave from. And I will have a yak in tow as well, so that will probably contribute to the decision of which direction to fly out of, but I think as long as I can get it to 5,500 by this ridge, then that should be fine, and we're already 1,000 there. Dude, that looks really good. That's cool. There's 5. This might just work. So then, the only question that I have, the only thing I'll have to figure out is, if I am already at a higher altitude, is it more efficient to stay at that altitude and hit up the coastal route coming back, or just replicate the flight out and go around the backside again? And it's like neither are great, but I kind of feel like it might be better just to go coastal route back. I don't know. Yeah, I've got ADS-B obviously out, but I do have ADS-B in on the iPad. Stratus? It's the little guy. I think the Stratus is the smaller one than Sentry, right? I honestly don't remember. But yeah, it's one of those. Not the Stratux, but the Stratus. Right over San Andreas Fault again. Obviously, the other thing to consider, if it goes without saying, is I will be flying in a different airplane than this. So the climb performance is obviously going to be different. The old Just Flight, yep, dusted it off. I like this plane a lot, man. It's so fun. It looks and sounds great, and God, I've flown this plane more than I think any flight sim plane. You count both X-Plane and this. You know, there's a new update, 99 Tango, that I keep forgetting to download. So I don't know yet. I don't know. Yeah, so there's 7,500. Terrain does kind of dip down right there. Crap, what would happen if I do this? Yeah, I've got A20s. What's gonna happen if I do this? I mean, it is a brick in real life. I mean, yeah, I don't know. This terrain is confusing. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Yeah, because now, like, now we're getting outside of that 3000 AGL. I am, like, way overthinking this. There's Agua Dulce. Yeah, we can just do the same thing. Yeah, the texture guy did an amazing job on the interior. Yeah, this will be fine. It was like it looked kind of alluring over there. Like cutting the corner, being a couple thousand feet higher going this way. So the terrain is higher sooner, but I'm starting at a higher altitude as well, because the field is at 2,300 feet. So by the time I'm heading back towards the mountains, I'm already at, 20 or 33,000 feet. Oh, yeah, Agua Dulce is like right below, right there. So there's, like, I already kind of have a little bit of a head start, even though it's closer. They also filmed the famous Star Trek fight scene right there. Not at the airport, but close by. Yeah, this will work fine. But it's like tempting to like just keep climbing, just like get over the mountains and go direct. But I think that's just going to take too much time. This way, now I am an extra 1,000 feet above, which is going to be fine. And then I can, as soon as I clear this ridge, now I can descend down to 3,000 and just zip all the way home at 3,000. Which is super easy to do, and it's a little more, if I'm comparing, going coastal route at 5,500 versus going around the east side at 3,000. Yeah, coastal route is a little bit less risky in the event that something were to happen. But there's so many options on the way there where going the other direction. So you got Burbank, and then you got El Monte, and then you've got Pomona, and then Fullerton. So yeah, the Yak is gonna have to go in a different route, though. I just realized that because it is not supposed to fly over populated areas. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be flying together on the way back. All right, yeah, so here I can just kind of go direct towards that valley. And start descending. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly over here. Man, I've been like so stiff and sore this week. I gotta go stretch. I need to limber up before the big golf round on Sunday. Sitting down at a computer all day long and then continuing to do that to stream after working, probably not the best thing for that. Emotionally worth it though. One of the fun parts about flying in this area is that despite the airspace being so wacky, Steecy, did I get that right? Hopefully I did. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for following. No, it is a naturally aspirated 9-cylinder. It's so crazy. But the airspace is so crazy. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just dense as hell. But if you, well, it is freaking mandatory to be on flight following, in my opinion. Not regulatorily mandatory, but freaking should be. So like being on with SoCal, I'll be on with LA Center for a little bit too. If they can help make your life easier and in turn make their lives easier, they absolutely will do that. So it's very rare, but not unheard of to get, some vectors through Bravo, airspace to help out with certain things. The soft blanket of IFR. It's like, even IFR, even if you go IFR, yeah, you don't have to think about like the flight planning aspect, to a degree. But you still get routed all over the place for traffic. But VFR and flight following, you really can get some pretty awesome shortcuts by just being helpful on the radio. You can always ask for certain things. I shouldn't. It's a little bit like read the room kind of thing. But, there have been a few times where, in a flight like this, kind of coming from wherever Camarillo, Burbank or something, you just kind of get vectored through the Bravo and get some super weird clearance, and they just ship you through. So, planning for the worst case scenario is almost always what I do, just like the Palmdale thing. Palmdale might be like, yo, you guys are cool to go through, fly right over, I could climb over this mountain and ship it down. One thing I actually have never done that I've wanted to do is fly over the Bravo. It's so impractical going into John Wayne because the Bravo ends like south of John Wayne. So it like would be a real pain in the ass, but might not be the stupidest idea ever. I've never done that. I've always wanted to do that. So that might be an option that I really didn't think about until now. Raul, going to WJF, William J. Fox Airport in the high desert. And it proposes some in take 3
Class
interesting challenges, airspace wise, or terrain wise, I should say. Airspace wise to a little bit, but to some extent. But proximity to those mountains makes it difficult on both ends. So you have to, you know, descend pretty tight to you know, to get there, and then you got to start climbing real quick to get out of there. If you want to take a more direct route, there's other ways that you can go where you know, you can go through the El Cajon Pass, and it's really not that big of a deal altitude wise at all, but it takes much longer to get around rather than just go over and cross at some point. But the Yak, whatever it's called, I can't remember what they call it, but is not legally allowed to fly over densely populated areas. So there's a little bit of maneuvering around that needs to be done. So you're not as free on that plane as far as flight planning goes, or what route you can even legally take. I am free to go wherever, though. So see how nice I'm feeling if I want to take the long way. Well, densely populated. Now, this is... I am going to... technically speaking, densely populated does not have a definition. And I know someone's going to say what I thought, but as far as the LOA, which is the thing that I was thinking of, is concerned, it's very loosely defined. But yes, the basin is very much densely populated. I would correct you and say the basin is densely populated, not ZLA, because no, ZLA is not all densely populated. I have been to many parts of it that are extremely far from densely populated. I present to you not densely populated. But yes, the basin, as we call it, is extremely densely populated. This works out perfectly, though. I again, if I'm being like really for aviation purposes, isn't the yellow areas considered dense? Not to the letter of now this is above my pay grade to a large extent with explaining this, but no, it's not the yellow part. The FAA has defined densely populated areas as any collection of I'm gonna frickin' forget all these goddamn terms. Any collection of brain. I'm like talking and thinking all day long, and as soon as I turn the freaking camera on, my brain goes blank. Not facilities, structures. Any collection of structures, they I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, it really, 9 Tango, it is kind of like any more than 4 people holding hands. They have been extremely loose on their definition of populated. So really, it's the avoidance of flying over any structures at all, and even then, if they wanted to, they could grab you. My thinking is, from a practical standpoint, yeah, the yellow is kind of densely populated, but the FAA does not stick to that definition. And I don't even think that yellow area actually is called densely populated areas on the supplement thing. I could be wrong. I had this conversation like a while ago, but we like went on about it for a while because it didn't make any sense to me. But there's some precedents that have been set where, yeah, it's like any structures are densely populated. So you could be out in the middle of the desert and there could be like a little town, like, you know, little like subdivision of 6 homes, and if you flew over that, you would be in violation of the LOA, which is stupid. Yeah, man, I'm happy to give a little bit of my background. So my dad was a pilot, was a Navy jet pilot, carrier qualified guy. After he left the Navy, he looked into flying commercially or professionally, didn't like it, and wanted to just fly for fun. So he and my mom bought a plane and flew around that plane all over the place. So I was from a young age. I mean, the first time I ever flew, I was 2 years old in their Beechcraft skipper. So I was, you know, but it wasn't like all the time. Like they got rid of it after I was 2. My dad got back into it kind of when I was in middle school. And so I've flown with him maybe 12 or so times, 24 times. But anyway, so basketball player, went crazy into sports, and then kind of got further into my professional life and was a big gamer, built a PC, was living in Seattle at the time and was very bored being indoors all the time in the winter, and was, you know, thought to myself, like, the first thing that I thought after I built the computer was like, okay, well, now what do I play? And then was like, oh my god, I wonder what kind of flight simulators are around now. This was like 5 or 6 years ago. Downloaded X-Plane, and from there it was like, I forgot how much I love airplanes. This is amazing. I wonder if I can use this to help me fly. So you can see, I have a YouTube channel where I kind of documented that whole process to a degree, and then just kind of have fun merging real world flying with the simulator. So in this flight that we're doing right now, this is a flight that I'm going to do tomorrow, up to an airport that I've never been to. So in the simulator, I'm able to do this flight, see all the terrain in context along with ForeFlight, and do all the flight planning ahead of time, and go into the flight with full confidence, knowing, just kind of being prepared for seeing something new for the first time. And then from there, just as kind of snowballed. YouTube channel led to the Discord, led to meeting a bunch of people. It's led to having, this really cool experience within the aviation community, flying for, formation, hosting fly-ins, flying with the Blue Angels, doing photo missions, doing all kinds of cool stuff. So meeting a bunch of cool people across the country. Yeah, so private pilot, that's really all I want to be. Unless something really weird happens. So barring anything weird and unforeseen, this is what I love doing, just flying around and enjoying aviation. No, I'll eventually get my instrument rating, but
Class Charlie in 5.2 miles.
I have to get to a certain place in order to really want to do that. like I've done the majority of that training, but flying in inclement weather, I mean, it's just not a priority right now. Like the career situation right now is so wackadoo that it's not the priority or even close to it. What the private fulfills every bit of what I want to use aviation for. Really like overhead brakes. What's up, Cole Nebo? Yeah, I would rather do more like formal formation training than I would instrument training at this point. Like I haven't been stuck yet, and I say yet, but haven't been stuck yet. Haven't, well, and the same here with the marine layer is if there's a day where, if it's a heavy marine layer day, you either have to go IFR or you don't go. And then you have to watch out the corner of your eye all day long to see when that marine layer is going to come back in, especially for John Wayne. John Wayne probably more than, thank you very much for all of that. You know, John Wayne is one of the ones that get kind of hit the first.
Caution, inside TF.
Dude, I freaking get it. I don't know if you guys could hear that as loud as I could, but that was really annoying. I sounds like I'm making excuses for not having my instrument right now, and I am. But it is really like I don't have the capacity to do it, and I'm happy with the type of flying that I'm doing now, where that's okay. I'm okay that I don't have the capacity to do it right now. So sort of an excuse, sort of a justification, but more of an explanation than justification, I feel like. And I mean, and the person that I fly with the most is a, 5,000 hour multi-type rated CFII, so not really ever going to get stuck too many places right now. But I do want the ability to be able to punch through a marine layer. I mean, we don't have to worry about icing here. It's not really like any storms ever. It's really just like punching through a 1,300 foot layer here and there. So there's not much in the way of like sketchy. Hey, Iowa. There's not much like sketchy flying that like I wouldn't want to do anyway. Like it's really pretty tame in terms of the types of clouds that we're flying through. Brad was like a little bit wrong about something. Yeah, we definitely don't have New England winters, or really even like Midwest or Pacific Northwest, or really anywhere other than Arizona and here. So this is the typical coming from the north, really northeast, northwest, John Wayne entrance. So we cross over the control tower at or above 1,300 for left traffic, and just kind of loop her around. It's pretty fun if you're number one crossing the field where it's just you. It is not as fun as the overhead brake, of course, but plenty of fun to do. Because the pattern altitude on the right side is 800 AGL. Is this a UK circuit entry? I have no idea, but it's basically like a 270. From this angle, it's even more than a 270. But if you're coming in from the pier, it's a little bit less than a 270. But yeah, mile square park, and then they'll kind of like cut the corner for sequencing. Mile Square Park is where I've been playing golf now too, which is kind of fun. Yeah, so there's the control tower. It's a couple hundred feet above our requirements. So, I mean, you just go power idle, gear down, speed brakes out. Yeah, see if I can do this full idle. Speaking of, it drops like a brick.
Caution, TFR ahead.
Ooh, that's hella high. It's like, why does this look weird? This looks weird. It looks weird because I was
500.
200 feet above pattern altitude.
Sync rate, sync rate.
Yeah, that is... I would go around in real life. That is straight up, this yoke sucks. I could have had it. I could have had it. That is pretty fun. My record is... Oh crap. I think it was, my record is 750 over the freeway, which is so much fun to just dump it in from there. I haven't gotten comfortable in the Cardinal doing that yet, but in this thing, yeah, it was like 750 over the freeway. Yeah, it is a little bit of a pain in the ass to do without having a visual of that. Okay, so there's pattern altitude.
Clear for the option.
Yeah. All right, let's see if this one will work.
Sync rate, sync rate.
Just be a little bit easier on the elevator. It was that balloon right at the end. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that was see, like that right there, like that is lame. Boom. That is just zero feel at all. Yeah, butter, right. But it was still 1,000 feet above the freeway. And just all the rudder in the world. Oh man. splattered butter. Just throwing a butter right at the pan. No, it does not. Which is really great. I mean, I look at doing a landing.
Entered runway 02 left.
Thank you very much.
20 right.
Like landing in the simulator, like having a nice landing is like getting a high score in whatever. You know, it's super fun. It's a challenge. You know, sometimes more of a challenge than not. But it just has no. You know, it's like getting a headshot in Call of Duty or something. Like, yeah, it's worth more points, but in real life, you know, it doesn't matter. You just want to. It has no, you know, no connection on your ability to shoot something with accuracy. It's just so much. It's so much easier to land airplanes in real life. It's so much easier. Yeah, Special Forces playing COD. I learned that really early on. It was like my first landing. By the way, my original, so much easier. Yeah. My first instructor, Tony, I had totally forgotten about this. I did my first lesson with him. So I did a discovery flight, and then I did, you know, I scheduled like lesson number 1. So I scheduled the lesson with the flight school, and, you know, they pair me with this guy, Tony, who's on a handful of the audio cues. And he's now at an airline that a friend of mine is at, and he was in his indoc training, whatever. So they like figured out that they had a mutual friend. So Tony, my instructor, was telling this guy about the first flight that he did with me, where I didn't tell him that it was my first lesson, like it was my first flight. He thought it was a checkout. He thought that I was doing a checkout flight for the Archer and just wanted to do like a little flight to Fullerton and back. So he had no idea until we got back, when I said like, okay, so like when can we do lesson number 2? And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, what do you mean, what are you talking about? And I can't recall if I really did that on purpose or not. I don't think I did that on purpose. I think I did it like, just didn't make it clear. But yeah, he was like, dude, I thought this was a checkout flight. I was like, nah, my dude, this was lesson number 1. I have now 2 hours in my logbook. It's like, Jesus Christ. So that was pretty funny. I had completely forgotten that had ever happened.